Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Hey, this is nothing, but I just wanted to talk to you about it. Are you also on 9-month cruise talk?
Okay. This was one of the things I was thinking about bringing up today.
I mean, fuck it.
Yeah, why not? Hello, welcome to the show.
Welcome to Into Twilight, where the next 9 months we are going to also be chronicling this backdoor White Lotus season.
Right. This is just going to be a side podcast of us updating you on what happens on this 9-month excursion.
Where our current events are Twilight related and also this 9-month cruise.
Right. And that's it. That's okay. That's all you need. That's a podcast, baby.
You can't tell me that's not queer.
It's just the 9-month cruise, conceptually. Yeah, I guess so. Throwing yourself to the sea.
And before anyone gets at me, I have to disassociate so much on TikTok already. I have to completely remove every part of myself when I watch these, and I have to fully believe that it's a television show. Because if I think for a nanosecond about any of the logistics, about the Newtons, I want to vomit. So I'm fully believing that it's not real. That's how I'm coping.
Yeah.
But it's a great show. I'm following a lot of characters about it.
Yeah, it's giving Bama Rush light a little bit, but at sea. Because unsurprisingly, this is Nicole's entire feed because she loves a cruise situation on her feed, and I am scared of it as a concept.
I hate it.
Like, these people have jobs, right? Some of them, at least. Like, I see videos of them like working. It's like, surely the Wi-Fi is not good, right? For this,
They can't have a VPN.
Yeah.
So what kind of job are you doing?
Right. Like, there's no way. And there's like, and I know there's like some people, like, you don't have to stay for the full 9 months. Some people are just going for like different legs or whatever.
Right. The same
But I
people.
keep seeing like, oh, there's a place for kids. And I'm like, for kids?
For kids?
Excuse me.
What do you mean for kids?
That's crucial development time, my guys. What? What are we doing? Huh?
Yeah. Some people were like, oh yeah, the kids, they're homeschooling. Bullshit. What?
Yeah. Did you ever see the story of that guy who, like, essentially lived on a cruise ship for, like, 20 years? Like, no joke.
It's got to be similar to space, right? Like, when you come back, your bone density is different.
Like, he couldn't walk. Like,
100%.
There was no, like permanent physical damage. Like, absolutely. But he just loved, and he had a fuck ton of money, and was like, I just want to be with my boys on this ship. Just like, stop every couple months to get air or whatever and stuff. But like, for the most part, full-time cruise life. And it's just this rich dude who now has like permanent psychic and physical damage from being at sea for 20 years.
His ancestors did the same thing, but they died of scurvy.
Right, and we learned nothing from scurvy.
And Homeboy learned nothing because now he can't walk.
Yeah.
I hate this. But I'm absolutely enraptured. I watch them daily.
Yeah. I do like to know what's going on. Like, what food you guys have today? What's going on?
And the comments, when this first happened, from, like, experienced cruisers, were ripping them apart because the boat is, quote, old and, quote, small. Hello?
In what universe? Excuse me.
And it's the biggest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It sounds like the end of season 1 of The Good Place, where you...
Yes.
I don't want to spoil it for y'all, but like 9 months at sea sounds like hell on earth when you actually think about it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna see it through. I'm gonna see it through.
Yeah.
And y'all are gonna follow us along for the fucking ESPN commentary of it. So enjoy. How are you?
I'm here. I'm living La Vida Loca. I'm out here. I want to talk about the traders, okay? Okay. Because we've talked about it before, okay? If you haven't caught up with the sickness,
Do better.
Do it, please. I don't know if we ever did a bonus episode on it or if we just
I think we did.
talked about it. Okay, but there's content. We've talked about it a lot, right? Get with it. Get with the bandwagon. It's the best show on fucking television.
It's so good.
But we finally got a trailer for season 2. And I'm gagged. I'm gooped and gagged. It's always nice to see my father, Alan Cumming, just do his thing in his beautiful outfits, in his beautiful castle, prancing around.
He's really living the celebrity dream right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
He said, I will only appear once a year, and I will look fabulous for it.
Yeah, and that's it. He doesn't have to do anything else. He's paid his dues. He's been out here. Now he just gets to, like, frolic around in a beautiful Scottish castle with evil celebrities and have them fight each other.
But in a way where they still have to respect him. And he gets to watch the drama from afar. Dream life. Yeah. Dream life.
The dream. Right. Yeah. Not just an observer. Not an active participant. Incredible. I love it.
Season 1's cast, good. Season 2's cast.
Yeah.
Oh.
I appreciate, too, because that was a big thing with the first season, because it was like an even-ish mix of just regular people and competition reality show / just hard-hitting reality show contestants, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it was a little bit, it hurt a little bit harder when it's like, oh, you're going up against Sari? Ooh, right? Like, you can't, know? Sorry, you're playing the wrong game here. You gotta step up, all right? But now it's just like fully public figures.
I will say, I loved the Joe Schmo component, though.
I did. I thought it was good, but I'm interested to see, like, what just a full... Just don't even, just lean into it.
I agree. They brought in some fucking heavy hitters this season, too.
Yeah, there's some shit going on here. Also, related to one of my last happy things, there is a House of Villains person here by the name of Johnny Bananas. He's back. He's dipping his toe into every competition thing right now. He sucks, but whatever.
He sucks so hard.
He sucks. He stinks. He's really bad.
They brought in some of the like famous people from Big Brother that I'm very excited to see this season. They also brought in so they brought in some very good, and this is why I'm not a fan of the fact that like Peacock has gobbled up so many different networks. However, if they're gonna do it, and they've already done it, this is a very good show for it, because they brought in some Real Housewives, Beverly Hills characters here that are gonna just
light this place on fire.
This castle's gonna go up in flames, and I'm so excited for it. The fact that we only have to wait a month too, I'm very excited. It's
so beautiful. I am so scared for Pilot Pete and The Bachelor. Like, what the fuck is he gonna do? This situation. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
they're gonna throw him out of the castle. But I'm very excited for it.
I'm really excited. There's so much. Peppermint for the win. Obviously. If anyone can go toe to toe with all of these Real Housewife women and Big Brother women and others, it's fucking Peppermint. Okay,
it has to be. Yeah.
Don't come for my girl. Okay. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm here. I'm alive. I'm here.
Amazing.
I'm gonna be honest with you. My happy thing this week kind of surprised me.
Okay.
So my happy thing is the actors on actors lineup for this year. I've watched all of them. I'm watching the directors on directors that's still currently coming out. But I was not waiting on bated breath for this like I was last year.
Sure. Yeah.
When I saw the lineup, I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
But I still watched them because I think that listen, y'all know, I'm not really a film connoisseur. And so I usually watch these as more of a trailer before watching films.
Yeah,
I
that's
find
fair.
it far more engaging to listen to actors talk about their process, and then I'm like, all right, bet. Now I'll go watch the film.
Yeah.
Obviously trailers do a good job of their whole thing, but I find this far more interesting to get to know a story than a trailer itself. So I watched them because I was like, fuck it, I'll just put these on in the background.
Yeah.
And all of them were showstoppers. Because
they're bangers across the board.
I knew maybe of the movies that were in this lineup this year, I knew maybe 3 of them by name. I haven't seen any of them, but I knew 3 of them by name just by like discourse. That was it was like fucking May December. I knew that one by name. I knew Saltburn, and there was probably and obviously Barbenheimer. That's 2.
Yeah, right. That counts as one movie.
It counts as, for me, it counts.
It's one 5-hour movie. Yeah,
right. But having listened to and having watched all of these and listened to them, I was like, oh, there's a lot. One, there was a lot of movies that I didn't hear about. First of all, and I came out of it wanting to watch them, having heard the actors talk about their process, which I love that. I could just listen to people talk about why they do what they do their whole life. I mean, that's why I listen to fucking podcasts.
Right. And especially actors too, right? Like, it's such a interesting, like, performance of performance, right? Usually, like, there's layers, obviously, but, like, the process, like, I even think of, like, you know, those, like, Wired videos. They're like, what do I always, like, my important things or whatever, right? Like, even those of, like, with actors are always so fascinating to me, because it's, like, especially, like, those who have, like, done theater or, like, different kinds of acting work as well. It's, like, such an interesting, like, trailer, as you're saying, of, like, this is how I get into a zone, because it's, like, such a different kind of career than, like, any artistic thing in a way. So it's, like, and it's so, like, mental and stuff. So it's, I'm a big fan.
Which is, like, there were movies that I hadn't even heard of. Having watched the ones where Julianne and Natalie were talking, I actually learned what May December was. Yeah. Which, having just seen discourse on Twitter about it, I was like, wait a second. Y'all were talking about something completely fucking different than what the movie
That's what that movie's about?
And so that completely changed. I was like, maybe I actually could see this movie now. Because y'all were talking about something completely fucking different. But the one I want to highlight, if you can only watch one of them, which, like, don't watch all of them, but if you can only watch one, the one that I was just, like, giggling, kicking my feet, crying, screaming, throwing up the whole time was Andrew Scott and Greta Lee.
Yes.
Because I will say, even though I didn't know the movies this year, whoever on their team paired the people together this year
so good,
did an amazing job with both the history that some of these people had and the chemistry.
Yes, absolutely.
Because Andrew Scott and Greta Lee had never met, and when they sat down, were talking like best friends.
It was so warm, like, out the gate. Like, I was like, you guys have been friends forever, actually. Right. What do you mean?
What do you mean? And one, I hadn't heard about Greta's movie this year. So that made me want to watch it, first of all. Her backstory about, when she told that story about Greta Gerwig, I almost threw up. Because that's so fucked up. And then also, I had seen some people talking about Andrew and Paul's movie. I had just seen, like, their photos together, but I hadn't heard about it, and I didn't know how devastating that movie was, and now I want to watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Which
don't
is-
want to watch it because it looks
right.
really sad.
It looks
But-
really sad, and you would never guess by the way those two act around each other in every press interview or anything.
Yes.
They are the most giggly men in their 40s, 30s I've ever seen. These are two grown men who only giggle when they're
And that's
near
the
each other.
thing.
It's disgusting.
Like, my YouTube subscriptions have been feeding me their press junket stuff, and that's all
Yeah.
they've been doing is like flirting with each other.
Yeah.
And so I thought, like, oh, their movie's like great and cute and it's a romance, and like it is, but
No.
it's not. Like, it's
Right.
devastating.
Yeah.
So I loved theirs. It was beautiful, but I would highly recommend watching them. Just because you would probably get a lot more out of it if you had seen all these films, but I didn't, and I was still like enraptured the
Yeah.
whole time. So I just love people talking about their passions. Okay, sue me.
Sue me. Is that
Sue
a
me.
crime?
I will say, if you watch the directors on directors, do watch the one with Michael B. Jordan and Ben Affleck.
Ooh.
And the one with Greta and
James
y'all
Cameron
call him
underwater.
Jim,
Yeah.
but that's not his legal. His name is James. Don't call him Jim. Fuck off. There's another one. Just skip it. Just skip it. It doesn't.
It doesn't
not gonna
exist,
miss, it doesn't, you're not going to miss anything. Those are the only two that matter. Okay.
Yeah.
So, just do yourself.
That's fair.
That's Variety. If y'all can just send me a check, that'd be great. Because I've talked about you for like 2 years in a row. That'd be dope. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Anyways, on to our current events. Our first piece from Variety, weirdly enough.
Hey, welcome back.
Just listen. Strike's over. We can talk about films. What do you want?
Hey.
Hey, I'm gonna actually have you tell us about Kristen Stewart.
Pew, 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 pew. It's time
I
for
love our
Case 2
life.
Corner. Yes. Our light, our love. Case 2. And listen, we've had some big Case 2 news recently, particularly
Yeah.
around Sundance, because Love Lies Bleeding is going to premiere there. Exciting. Shaking in my boots.
Still in horny
Very
jail.
exciting.
And I'm fine. It's comfy.
Right. It's okay. I live here. It's my nice home. But there's even more news in that she's going to receive a visionary award at the opening night sort of gala ceremony situation at
Can you,
Sundance.
in the Zoom when you're there, can you put W's in chat for me?
Yeah,
Since
yeah,
you're
we can get some dubs. Yeah. Can we just? I'm dabbing right now. You can't see it, but I'm dabbing.
Yeah, when
just
you're
like
there for
repeatedly.
work, if you could just put some dubs in chat, that'd be dope. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. 07.
Great.
And it is. I'm so fucking thrilled. It's like an honor for contributing in the independent scene in recent years. And that's fucking fire. I love this.
Sometimes you get an award for being cool as hell.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
great.
Sometimes you're just being you're the coolest person in Hollywood right now. You're
Yeah.
welcome. Congratulations. Here's
Let's
this cool trophy presented by Chase Sapphire. Please take it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right.
Listen, we love capitalism when presenting an indie award.
Right. Yeah, especially because they included a quote in this piece from Jaden Thompson where Kristen regards about Sundance. Sundance's purity, lack of fussy pretension, and its commitment to supporting independence in an industry that doesn't always value the radical or the sidelined is what makes it, by far, the homeliest place for me to go see, discuss, and present films. Sponsored by Chase Sapphire. She didn't say that. I added that.
I love that she called it the homiest place.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that. I'm really proud of her. It's a great start to the year for her.
Go off, girl. Hell
So,
yeah.
I'm so excited. Hey, speaking of winter,
Yeah.
I have some really important news to bring to the space that I was not aware of until today. And some of you might not think that this is current or events, and I'm going to fight you on that.
Right.
Because I think that this is important context while we are watching The Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, it definitely is broadening my perspective of this television program, certainly.
So I found this out from an ET Online piece that just came out about from Carly Sloan. Thank you, Carly Sloan. And it's a piece about Shaun White and his winter wardrobe essentials. And you might be like, hold on, what? Here's the thing. I don't care about Shaun White or his winter wardrobe essentials. I mean, I do, but I don't.
Right.
Here's the thing that's important about this. The headline goes on to say, and how Nina Dobrev makes him, quote, take chances, unquote, with fashion. I was not aware that Shaun White, Olympian,
right, was
dating Nina Dobrev.
God, what a powerful couple, though.
This ET Online piece, in addition to having a lot of commissioned links about his winter wardrobe, is just littered with photos from Nina's Instagram of the two of them together.
And that's beautiful.
And I think that it's really important, as we are discussing the Vampire Diaries, to know that she contains layers.
I love this. Apparently they became official in April of 2020.
Whoa.
So that's a time. But apparently, according to People Magazine, thank you, People Magazine, they had a brief encounter at an award show in 2012, but they weren't properly introduced until 2019.
Whoa.
And then made it Instagram official in 2020.
That's crazy. And this is the thing, right? Like, this is why we need to know this.
Yeah. Like this changes so much in my head.
I agree. Yeah. What award show? All right, I need to do some more digging.
Yeah.
But this is important news that we need to be aware of. This is history that I was not paying attention to in 2012. Yeah, I was deep in my Super Hula grind.
Right. I was doing other internet crimes.
Right, exactly. Which I will say, not that I try to shame my younger self, but my context of Supernatural kind of pays off while we were watching the show, because the fact that the episode that we're talking about today, very Supernatural coded.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the CW all over it.
The CW stink is all over this episode, for sure.
It was just a real copy-paste, this episode. Okay, so, last week, here's what you missed. Mid-season finale, before they went to winter break. Lots of important content about broadcast journalism. Yeah. The last time that we saw Caroline, Girlie had a concussion and then rested. I don't know.
Never to be seen again, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know where she was this episode. Same with Matt. Who's to say? Elena and Stefan had sex, and then she died, but she didn't die.
Yeah.
And I thought that Rick might have been the one that potentially tried to kill Elena, but then I was wrong, because we found out there was another vampire in this episode.
Right.
So yeah, so that's what you missed, Ugly. So, season 1, episode 11, Bloodlines. How'd it do ya?
Bloodline. Shout out Rochelle Mead, first of all. The series we almost did instead of this.
Also, shout out the Lost Boys, by the way.
Absolutely.
That Jeremy's seen 50 times. Jesus.
Right. Yeah. Also, shout out to this very violent and immediate Florence and the Machine needle drop.
Oh my god.
That was sick and twisted.
It's been a while since we've had some, like, recognizable music, though. So we were due for it.
Yeah. They were like, let's just really just stick the knife in and twist it. Why don't we? So Elena's not doing great, right? She's like in this car, fucking upside down, being like, what the fuck's going on? There's this dude who looks scary, and I don't know where he is or what the fuck he just did.
Right.
And homeboy Damon. It's like, hey babe. Hey. Not babe though, but like, hey.
Hey, you piece of shit.
Yeah, hey, bitch. No.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, something probably just happened. Let's not really talk about it. How about we go on a cool little road trip, though? You game? You good for that? How about that? That sounds fun with your good friend and pal and confidant, Damon Salvatore, who you love and are friends with and are definitely not scared of in any way, shape, or form.
Especially because they were trying to tease it at the first part of this episode that, like, it could have been Damon who did it.
Right, yes. We were unsure of the culprit in this.
Because, like, why did he get there so fast? Like, we don't know. I mean, it would not have made logical sense for him to do it, but we don't know, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and Elena has that, like, whole, not like revelation, but like tells Damon being like, I look just like Catherine. What the fuck's going on? And then, and then rip. It's over.
I will say, I know that this is just for, like, logical plot stuff, but that's, like, theoretically when her adrenaline stops at that point.
Yes, right.
Because Damon, bless his heart, but he's a dunce. He asked her right before that of, like, is anything broken? And she says no, obviously, because her adrenaline is still pumping to help her with pain. Mm-hmm. And he believes her.
Yeah, it's like, all right, that's good enough for me.
Great.
I'm not a doctor.
But then this whole episode goes through. We see a very minor cut on her hairline up at the top. That he never like puts a Band-Aid on, cleans. We're mainly in a bar. Like, they could have just used alcohol on it.
Right.
Whatever. He's really bad at babysitting.
Yes.
And then there's just like a very minor reference to her having some like back pain. This is, as someone who has not been in this, quote, bad of a car wreck, but having been in a very serious car wreck, that's a lie. That's not how this works.
It's a lot in your body in many different ways.
If this is, I mean, she also mentions having a really high tolerance to alcohol in this. So, like, maybe they're trying to explain it as, like, she is also, like, super TM. But Homegirl would have been wrecked in this. So we need a little bit more details. You need to give me a little bit more. But Damon's not concerned at all. He's like, sure, great.
He's like,
fine.
What if we just go to Georgia? That's fun.
Also, what if we go to Georgia, also we're in Georgia?
Also, sorry, it's too late. We are currently in Georgia. We cannot go back. I do have business to take care of, and that's to see my hot ex-flame who runs a bar.
That was one of my favorite moments where Damon is like, I wrote it down. He was like, we can't just like go to a vampire bar and grill. And he says that as they're pulling up to Bree's bar, which was
like a literal vampire bar and grill.
I loved that. It was a very good moment. So thank you, writers, and also the people who blocked that. I love you. You're great.
Incredible stuff.
What makes me sad / frustrates me about like 10 plus years ago and the like team Stefan Elena / Damon Elena is I think that a lot of people saw the banter between the two of these people and read it as chemistry of like, oh, they should date, they should kiss.
Right.
When there is chemistry, right? Like these two people don't like each other, but it's just like, good actors being really good together and not, oh, they should like smooch.
Right. And I think this is a thing that you and I talk about all the time, which is like, is there chemistry between Damon and any character? Or is it just does Ian Somerhalder have, as a person, innately, incredible charisma and chemistry with any human person that walks this earth? Like, it is inescapable. The writing does not suggest, really, that there is chemistry, but Ian Somerhalder, just as a human unit, like,
he just has, like, a plus 10 charisma.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a hard to battle with, you know?
Absolutely. I think that's just what it is he's just undeniable in there. He's just a good actor. And I'm sorry that like No, I'm not sorry. I think that maybe that is how I would have interpreted too if I was in high school watching this. But seeing it now, that's not what's happening. Ian's just really good, and Elena's really good.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right.
There was a small moment too when they were like driving to Georgia that I thought was really good, where Elena is like, I want you to promise me that you're not going to compel me. And also, like, I need to make sure that I can trust you. And Damon doesn't really say yes or no. He's just like, get in the car.
Right.
And I think that is where these two characters, right? Like, Damon's not a good person. He's also not a good vampire. But he's an interesting character. And that's why this show is interesting to watch. And putting these two in a car together, especially near the end, when he's like, you're not fun to be around. And she's like, I know. Like,
yeah.
Thank you. I am aware. Is interesting. It's very good.
Yeah.
What do you think Paul was doing this week? Do you think he had like jury duty?
If you have someplace to be.
Yeah. What was up?
What's going on with this man? I don't know. Like, there's so many. It's very funny too, because this episode is focused on, like, you know, kind of like two main beats. Yeah. It's like, you know, obviously Elena and Damon in their Georgia adventure. And then also Bonnie back home. And the whole, like, witchness of that, and like Stefan and stuff. And then sometimes it's just like, oh, here's a character that we haven't had in like a second. Let's bring them up and, hello, how are you doing? I still exist and I'm part of the narrative. Hi, hello, how are you doing? And it just feels like the pacing and like the way it was done feels very interesting. Yeah, Paul, I don't know. MIA. Where is this man?
Yeah, those were like, we had our two main beats, and then sometimes after a commercial break, it'd be like, oh, hey, do you want a OG Twilight? Like, do you want a Catherine Hardwicke blue filter on Rick?
Right. Yeah.
To find out about his dead wife.
Just to really set the scene. Yeah. You know.
And then, do you want to see Jeremy with his new haircut? He looks really cute, by the way.
He does. It looks good. He's rocking it.
I thought he was great. She was giving me weird vibes, but I don't think she intended to, with new homeschool girl.
Anna. I think Anna, I don't think Anna's going to last very long, because I think she knows too much, but I think she's good for him, and I don't want Jeremy to be sad anymore.
Anna's very much a plot device, unfortunately.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is how the CW often treats women.
Yeah, Manic Pixie Homeschool girl.
Literally. Of like, oh, we're going to put this random girl in a library, and she's going to be our fucking Data.
And knows also where everything is in this library, because she comes to the library for, quote, an immersive school experience.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Is that allowed? You could just do that? You could just walk into a library of a school you don't go to?
Yeah, I thought that's what librarians were for. But okay, cool.
Sure.
Yeah, so you're just going to be our plot device. And also, you look weirdly like Elena enough that, are you siblings? ?
Right.
Okay. I am proud of Jeremy though, that because I also wrote that down. I was like, are they trying to, is she the new Vicky? But then by the end he was like, I'm not, you're cool or whatever, but like, I'm not ready to
which good for him.
This. And she was like, oh yeah, totally, like, I just want to be friends, also bye forever.
Also, you'll never see me again. You needed me to see that you can't be with someone right now. Bye, forever.
I'll just disappear into the light.
Back to homeschool.
No, Jeremy. Oh God. But I will say that Anna, her immersive social or school experience is not good for social experiences, because Jeremy was like, vampires, they're an analogy, which, like, Jeremy, I love you, you're right, just not in this specific instance.
Especially when he's like, oh, you know, the Union soldiers, they were the vampires. They were the enemies. And it's like, okay, bud, I know we are in Virginia right now, but, buddy.
I mean, I guess, like, he's reading a first-person journal from a Confederate, right?
Yeah. So it's not, like, the actual thought process, but it is funny. Just being like, in their minds, they were the vampires. It's like, oh, buddy.
They're the enemy. And I love that Anna was like, I interpreted what you said as I'm wrong. So I'm going to go print out every article from 1940 back to 1942 that proves I'm right. So how about that?
I love it. I love it. Hey, at least he's doing his homework. You know what I mean?
Literally, like
he's gonna get this.
I think I wrote down at one point. I was like, Jeremy in a library, more likely than you'd think.
Right.
So, bless his heart. I agree, though. I don't think Anna's gonna last very long, but whatever.
Yeah.
Because there was something that she had mentioned about those journals sounding similar to his. That's got to be fucking connected to the end with what Stefan was saying. I mean, it's not surprising for CW to just like say a plot and then never touch it again, but lately, lately they've been connecting those strings, so I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Bonnie?
Bonnie's continues to go through it, which pains me.
I know it's not interesting for the show, but I just want her to have a spa day.
Yeah, can I just get a one shot of her treating herself, relaxing, watching TV, perhaps? That's all I need.
Having Stefan come onto a fucking public school property and bothering
just
her.
Up in her grill. Always. And she's like, hey, I know your whole deal. Whatever. It's fine. I don't really want to talk about it right now. I need a little bit of space. And he's like, for sure.
Stefan, go away.
Yeah, I have to graduate, Stefan.
Right.
So, like, fuck off. And Stefan's like, for sure. Anyway, I do need you, though. Because I don't know where Adelina is. And, like, could you find her for me? Ooh, woo, woo, woo. With your magic spells.
I'm going to teach you how to scry right now in front of everyone at lunch. Sound
right,
good?
In a public corridor. Like, there are people around.
And all she does,
and
she
he's
asks
not
him for
doing
one thing. She says, okay, can you make sure just make sure that no one's watching. And what does he do? Not that. He stares at her.
He is not on lookout. He is not doing anything. He's just intimately looking at her while she's trying to do this thing. And that is not the job, sir.
You have one job.
Yeah.
And also, he's the reason why, well, Damon is. But, like, he's also part of the reason why Bonnie's powers are blocked. So go away.
Right.
Leave her alone.
So, fuck off. And so now, obviously, Bonnie's freaking out because, like, what the fuck happened to my cool, sick powers that I'm trying to figure out how to control?
Right.
That's no good. What's going on?
And now she's even more stressed out, Stefan.
Yeah.
So leave her alone. It is, I know this is a very, like, high school thing and they needed to advance the plot, but I just felt really bad for Grams. We know now that her name is Sheila. Sheila didn't even get through the fucking door. Her keys still in the door. And Bonnie's like, Grams, I need your help immediately.
Please. But I also can't tell you anything about it and why.
Correct.
But I do need you to tell me how to fix it. Any of your dusty books help me? Question mark? Maybe?
Yeah. And also, I'm not going to put these away before I leave.
I'm sure you had these in a really, like, meticulous order and things. That will not be respected by the time I'm done with this.
No. I mean, bless her heart, though. Sheila's probably got, like, magic powers. She can put them away.
Right. Yeah, flick of the wrist.
I was very stressed out when she fell into a fucking hole into the cemetery. Mm-hmm. The cemetery that's always foggy, by the way. What's up with that? Don't
Hate
like that.
that.
I don't trust that.
Too spooky.
Too spoopy. And also, I mean, again, I think this is just for plot, but like, how do you fall at least 10, 15 feet on a complete stone and you're just like, great, you just have a little knee scratch?
Yeah, it's just a Tuesday, you know?
Right, exactly.
It's a normal, cool thing about my life now.
Also hate that she could hear the people behind the stone.
Oh, yeah. That sucks. That sucks.
So I don't, and I was...
Is this girl not been tortured enough by her own mind? She needs to hear other screams. God.
I was so scared too. Like in my mind, I was like, please don't touch the pentagram on the stone. Don't touch it. And then she did, of course, touch it. And I think it was more of a like, she heard the memory of them.
Mm.
But it confirms what we knew, which is like, if they get blood, they'll just come back from being mummies. And I don't trust that.
Yeah. Don't love that
I don't
idea.
love it.
Seems risky.
Seems risky, seems scary, and I hate it. My favorite character this episode, I thought, was going to be Bree. Mm-hmm. And it was, in fact, Sheila.
Yeah, Sheila was running shit this episode.
For her, I mean, I thought it was smart that Stefan shook Grams' hand. And that Grams was like, I know you, I know what you do. Go take care of my granddaughter, and also I'm not going to let you in ever, okay, bye.
Yeah, that's none of my business what you do out there. Just do not. Yeah, I hope you can understand. You cannot go into my home. I know your dirty tricks. Okay, buddy?
Right.
Just get my girl back.
Right.
Okay?
Right, exactly. I thought that Damon was bringing Elena along to see Bree for, like, a reason. And there was no reason.
I think he thought it was going to play out better than it did, because he was like, hey, bestie, we used to have cool, sexy nights in college. Bree, you're so cool. You run this cool bar now. You're also a witch. Very cool. I kind of goofed up trying to get Catherine back.
Yeah.
So could you maybe make a new spell or a new crystal or something to, like, redo my oopsie? Does that work for you? And she's like, homeboy, that's not how magic works.
Correct.
At all. Like, the Emily spell is very powerful. If you don't have the crystal, the capital C crystal, you're fucked. Sorry, dude. Can't make another spell. Also, you suck. And I've been chugging for Vane this entire time.
It is wild. I mean, it was, first of all, two brothers knowing and loving a bar owner. That's how Supernatural works. Major plot point
right.
for 5 seasons. It's fine. It's fine, CW. You can just, like, repeat stuff. But it is wild that Bree's the one that told Damon about this, and also has never seen a photo of Catherine. Because if Bree had seen that, then she would have shit bricks at the start of this.
Absolutely.
So that's why I thought, when she dropped that stuff, that's why I thought he was bringing her along. Of, like, I'm not fucking around.
Right.
But then that wasn't the whole thing.
Yeah. That wasn't, like, the big reveal.
No.
So it kind of, it's like, what was the point, actually, of this adventure?
No. It was just, hey, this is a time for you to get away from Stefan, and I'm going to fuck around with Stefan a little bit.
Yeah.
But we do find out lore that, like, Catherine didn't have a child before she died. Mm-hmm. So Elena's not, I mean, at least according to Damon. So Elena's not descended from her. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, cool. And then there's that one moment where Bree calls someone. Question mark.
Yes. And it's like, you're not gonna believe who's in my bar.
Right. And it's Lexi's boyfriend, who we thought was human.
Right. Uh-oh. Turns out, not the case.
Yeah.
Turns out a human vampire relationship isn't really the vibe.
Right. It doesn't really last long. And he was the one who tried to kill Elena before.
Yes.
Great. Good. Which, to me, homie, doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Because Elena liked Lexi. Damon, this whole time, is the one who did the backstabbing to Lexi.
Right.
So everything that you did in this episode, I mean, well, not to Elena again, but, like, to Damon, I was like, great, do it.
Right.
Fuck this dude.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Yeah, and it's like, he brought all of this onto himself. And the fact that even Bree was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, she was my friend, too. Like, why would you do that, you little bitch?
And then he just got away. Like, he deserved to live. I was like, you know what? All your pain's justified. It makes sense to me. I'm surprised that you let Damon live. Am I surprised that Bree is dead? No.
Yeah.
Because women don't last long on this show.
No. Especially cool, interesting women.
Yeah. Badass women don't last long on this show. And that's really sad. She drops that one piece of lore at the end, though. That, like, the only maybe way Damon could do this would be to find Emily's grimoire. Which makes me fucking nervous, because that means going back to Grams's house, potentially.
Right.
And I don't want...
no good.
No, Damon. Stay away from Bonnie's
Stay away from her.
Stay away from Bonnie's family. I'm so scared.
God.
I need to know every single thought and feeling about the last, like, 5 minutes of the show for you. Because my jaw was on the floor.
It was, like, such a twist.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously Elena's very confused that whole situation. And it's like, surely there's something more about this resemblance than just resemblance, right?
Alexa,
like, surely there's something else that is happening. And it's like, what? Like, what is the link? What is going on?
Right. This is
and even Damon was like, I've been watching you, because, like, just to make sure you're not actually her, because you're so different. She's, like, way cooler and sexier and nicer than you are.
This is the second piece of media that we've done in a row where people have died by car crash.
Yes.
And there's been a, like, adoption plot twist.
Right.
What's up with
like,
that?
Hello?
Why?
It just comes, I mean, it doesn't come out of nowhere, but, like, thematically, it's like, hello? What? Like,
right.
this girl has been going through a lot, right, recently. And it's like, hey, my last name, her last name, different. That's interesting. What's up with that?
Right.
Uh-oh. Is something with me? Am I? Is there something going on? And poor Jenna, who's in here for a solid 15 seconds of this episode, gets fucking eviscerated. Being like, why didn't you tell me I was adopted, bitch? How dare you? Fuck you.
God.
I hate you.
Do you think
And Jenna's just like, what? It is 7 p.m. What is happening? Like, where have you been all day? It's a school day. What's going on?
Do you think Elena's really triggered by that trend on TikTok going around right now where people are showing, like, their ancestors' photos and then their face, or, like, their brother's face?
Yeah. Probably.
Because that's exactly what happened here, where she was like, I don't understand, like, that's some weird doppelganger shit.
Right.
And then for Stepan to drop, like, I tried to save your dad didn't want me to do that, so I saved you. And she was like, what the fuck? And then, oh, by the way, you're adopted. And she's like, what the fuck? I came in here to yell at you.
Like, what do you mean?
What do you mean? What could you possibly, what?
Yeah.
And then, because we saw Jenna for maybe, like, 10 seconds before the end of this episode. When she was like, hello, like, are you good? And Elena's like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Right. I actually hate you, though, so.
Yeah. And then poor Jenna is trying to do the, like, parent thing of, like, I never have to worry about you. I've never had to set rules with you. And
Right.
fucking Elena's like, well, how about this? I have a question for you. Am I adopted? And fucking Jenna, one, she wasn't expecting it, but also poker face gone.
Yeah,
You could
his
see
face
it
just
on her
fell.
face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh. And then the end of this episode, homeboy Rick, who we saw like 2 times before this, one with that blue filter flashback, and then also when he almost lost his ring in the car.
Right, yes.
At the Mystic Grill, and we find out that he knows Damon, but Damon doesn't know Rick.
Yeah.
Because apparently Damon was like fucking his wife.
Right.
/ killing his wife.
Likely place for him to be. Fucking and
right,
killing
literally.
someone's wife. Yeah.
/ killing his wife. And
Right.
doesn't recognize Rick at all.
Yeah. So.
Uh.
Uh-oh.
So of course Damon's like, yeah. But they're just across from the bar at each other at the Mystic Grill. Right.
Yeah. Alaric just like giving evil eyes at him, and he's just drinking his little drink like, la la la, what a fun day. What an adventurous, fun little day we had today.
Yeah. So I think he's not a vampire. He's a vampire killer.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, they teased this in this episode with Lee, I think his name was.
Mm-hmm.
He was human, and then he wasn't. So maybe...
Right. Could be. Right.
Maybe Rick... I don't know. He has that ring, so I don't know.
Right, because the ring feels like, protection.
Right.
To properly kill. But he also could be, a little bit.
I don't know, man.
It could also just be like daylight ring, protection ring that way, rather than from vampire.
Yeah.
So,
but he obviously knows them. Like, he knows, at least Damon. I don't know if he knows Stefan.
Yeah.
So that's not good. For sure.
Yeah.
God, I'm so stressed.
Yeah, everything's on fire. So excited for what happens after this.
Yeah. Next week's episode is episode 12. It's titled Unpleasantville.
Love that.
Love that. That's great. This photo from the episode looks very Saw Cop.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm automatically nervous about that.
That scares me.
That makes me scared and worried.
Yeah. Let's do a time warp.
No. Oh God. Do you think that... Oh, I hope. I can only hope and pray that we have a Rocky Horror episode.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
If there is even one musical episode in this series, you are legally obligated to tell us.
Yeah. We know that there are themed episodes, but now actually that's critically important.
Yeah.
To know if there are musical episodes. Because here's the thing. I would have never thought that would have been a thing for Supernatural, and then we got one. So now you are legally
and the
obligated
CW loves that. Riverdale, hello.
Mm-hmm.
Supernatural, hello.
If we get one, y'all have to tell us. Please.
You have to tell us. You gotta tell us.
Can you imagine Paul in those gold shorts? I mean,
Paul is literally giving KJ Appa almost all the time.
That's insane.
So
that's insane.
The strings are connected. They're there.
Oh, okay. I have to stop thinking about that because I will start salivating. Okay. We have some amazing patrons. Would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ooh, thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Pew pew. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh, thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Ow. Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Pew pew. Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ow. Thank you to Laura Forty.
Ooh, thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Pew pew pew. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ooh, if you are one of our patrons at a very special tier, you should be very excited. Because our December bonus Jonas, we are watching the Nina Dobrev movie Love Hard.
Get excited.
Get excited.
Am nervous, but also excited.
Be very excited because I'm excited for you. I have a fan fiction for you this week.
Hell yeah.
It is titled BTW.
Okay.
And it is by the author Impertinence. This was written, it was published in May of 2010. And the summary is Damon listens and plots brilliantly. There are no challenges.
Okay.
Their first night together was so sweet. Damon walked away from it expecting to shit Lucky Charms. They got along so well, they just clicked, and oh, Stefan, Elena just loved him. Damon glared at the bark of the tree nearest the Salvatore house. Puppy love was always disgusting, but when it was his brother, it was 5 times worse. Maybe he should just finally kill Stefan. The idea had merit, or the girl, Elena, tiny, cute, forgettable in every way. Her blood would taste like teenager, though. Tacky. Stefan and Elena. Damon scaled the stairs and sat in the dark, waiting for Stefan to get back so he could give him hell. Stefan and Elena. One way or another, he was going to take their silly little puppies and kittens romance and turn it inside out. End scene.
Okay.
You know how sometimes when your brother has a girlfriend and he's happy and you just want to destroy it?
Listen, happens to the best of us.
Because
he's
he's not paying attention to you anymore.
Yeah, that's your sole motivation in life.
Yeah. So, please enjoy. That's available for you.
Hell yeah.
It is, 13 years old. That's weird.
Oh my gosh.
So, well, friends, tell your friends about the show.
Hey.
It's a great time to catch up. If you're on a school break, that would be good. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.